Hello, everyone. Welcome to Light and Laughs. I'm Lily.
And I'm Lauren, sending you
And
lots of love today.
that's right. Today we have a really fun topic. It came just because I felt like asking people if they believe in miracles. And Lauren and I had actually talked about similar stories in the past and sharing them with you guys. And that is the topic today. So, Lauren, I have to ask you, and you might laugh. She has no clue I'm going to ask her in this way, but here it is. I believe in miracles. And then what do you say? Do you know the end of the lyrics? I believe in miracles. Where are you from?
Where you from?
You sexy thing. You don't know that song?
I
It's
wasn't ready. I
old.
wasn't ready. But if we could do a redo, I got you, girl.
No, the people know you don't know it now.
I do know
It's
the song. I do know the song. The universe.
yeah, it's like dun, 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 dun. So we're gonna believe in miracles, yeah, and we are sexy things. And look at her, that's a sexy dance. Um, that's right. Do you guys remember that song? We have to give credit. It's by like a group or a band, or they're called Hot Chocolate, which I had no clue. But
Yum.
because I know it's that time of the year, because I was going to bring it up to Lauren, I was like, okay, let me also double check who sings this because I had no clue they were called Hot Chocolate.
I'm here for it. Actually, should I go make some right now with some marshmallows on top?
I think you were referring to maybe being hot chocolate men. I don't know.
Yum.
So we
Good for
believe
them. Good for them.
we believe in miracles. That was a fun little way to get it started.
That was cute. That was
Hi
cute.
everyone, thank you for joining us. And I'm assuming either you want to believe in miracles, because in the poll that I did, 94% of people, and it was a very popular poll, said they believe in miracles. And then the other percent said they want to believe. No one said no. So we might have people that want to believe watching us, and we might have people that already believe, which if you do, tell us your miracle. Maybe we can share it, or you can share it with us live here, because I love hearing these magical stories. Lauren,
Yes.
how do you feel about this? How are you feeling about the
So
miracle
I've
tonight?
actually, I can't deny, miracles have happened in my life. So I am a strong, true believer. I am blessed. I am divinely protected, and miracles and blessings continuously happen. And there's just one specific miracle that pops in my head when I think about what I share. But what about you? Have you ever experienced a miracle? Have
I
you?
think I've experienced so many. I'm so blessed to think, like, because sometimes they're tiny, sometimes they're big. Like you said, those big ones that impact us, that we remember right away when someone says, have you experienced a miracle? Well, of course I have. But when they ask you to share a story, you might share, like, the one that impacted you the most,
Mhm.
or maybe, the one that had the most impact in your life, not only when you saw it, but after that. So yes, I've been fortunate to witness many miracles in many different ways. But I would have to say one that I think I had shared with you before, and I'm not sure if you remembered, was with my mom. When I was little, we were in Mexico, and we had this snack that, if I explain it to you guys, it's a whole story in its own, but it had a lot of hot sauce on it. And it was
Oh,
very delicious. Tosti locos. You've had tosti
my
locos, right?
favorite, of course, with the chamoy. Mhm.
My mouth waters thinking about it. So yeah, chamoy, which is, one type of hot sauce, an actual hot sauce, and the lemon, which makes it all like juicy
Okay.
and liquidy. So my mom and I were walking back from church. We had gone to church in Mexico because we always like to go. My mom liked to go to the cathedral that's in Tijuana. And, we'd grab a snack and walk ourselves back to the border. This was back in the day when there was a very big tourism was still big. So there was a whole pathway you could follow from downtown in Tijuana to the border that was like, you could buy stuff and everything. So it was something that a lot of people did, and a lot of tourists did it. So if we felt like walking, we'd walk back.
Okay.
And we had walked back toward the border. We were on this bridge that's still there today, but people don't walk past it, unfortunately. It's gotten very dangerous, and all of that area, the tourism has stopped. So None of that's happening anymore. But it was a tourist area, so we're walking on the bridge, and my mom has her crossbody bag. We have just tosti locals in hand, and
Yes.
I am, picking at them. I'm little. I don't know,
How is Lily here?
maybe like 9, 10. I don't know, but around that age, maybe 11. I'm
Okay.
trying to think of what I was wearing. That's why, because how I don't know if you do this, but like depending on the outfit, I'm like, wait, maybe I was older.
Yeah.
Let's scrap that. I might have been older than 11, but again, I'm young.
Okay.
So, um, we're eating the tostilocos. There's people selling selling stuff on the bridge, but right there, like on the side on the floor. And two men come up to us and they're like, "Hey, can we have some of your tostilocos?" And we're just like, "No."
Stranger danger. Like,
Yeah,
no.
literally, the alert goes off
And
immediately.
this is
So we're like,
pre-pandemic. So like, no,
yeah, no.
germs.
So people are walking past us. There's, up ahead where the bridge ends, there's like a bar where there's always people outside being like, come inside for the tourists. So there's people around and they're walking next to us now, just like as if we're a group and being like, "Oh, do you have any money?" And we're like, "No." And they're like, "Okay, then, maybe you can buy us something." We're just like, "No." They just kept saying
Like,
random things.
get a hint. Keep
Yeah.
it
So
moving.
at one point, one guy's behind my mom. The other one kind of stands in front of us, takes
Mm.
out a knife, grabs her purse, the strap, cuts it. But when he does this, my mom's hands kind of go up, so she throws the tostilocos in the air.
Oh,
And,
I
and
can just picture this right now with the chips going
in the
everywhere.
moment, you don't even see them fly. You don't see them land. Nothing, because everything, when these moments happen, they kind of go slow motion. So it's like he cuts the strap. He doesn't cut my mom because he pulled it and cut it.
Mhm.
The guy that was the other guy, he tries to grab my mom's purse and he's yanking on it. And my mom is like with her hands up, and I
Not
am
even
just
protecting it, not
frozen.
holding it.
I'm frozen, just like staring at this. And the guy is pulling and pulling, and the other guy's like, "Come on, let's go." And there's like a vendor on the floor, like selling like bracelets and stuff, just witnessing this. And the guy's pulling, and we're just like, it's like, it might have been a couple seconds, but it seems like eternal that the guy's pulling and we're just there frozen. And my mom's just like standing like this. So the guy can't pull my mom's purse. My mom's hands are up. They both run away because there's a lot of people around. Like,
Yeah.
this has to be done quickly,
Like,
and
we're
you go
not,
and leave.
lingering. No,
No.
or
So
run.
they start running in the opposite direction. My mom and I are just there. As soon as they run, my mom's purse drops to the floor.
Stop. No
And yeah,
way.
and I'm just like frozen. And now I come to realize I am covered in the hot sauce. I'm
Why?
covered. I was wearing, I think, like light pink, and we're both covered. That thing went flying and it landed all on us, and we are just like a mess, and it kind of looks like blood,
Oh,
at the same
sheesh.
time. Yeah,
What a setting. What a setting.
it's like, oh. But then the lady that's the vendor, like, she immediately tells my mom, like, "How did you tie your purse to yourself?"
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "I didn't." And we're both just like standing there in shock that this happened, but also in shock that we saw him cut the strap. Her purse is now in two, like the strap is in
It
two,
should have been taken. It should
but
have
the,
been
the
stolen.
bag just stayed stuck to her body until he dropped it and left, and then it fell to the floor.
Like,
And we
you
were like,
can't deny that, my friend, is a
no.
miracle in
And
itself.
and the fact
Wow.
that we had left church, the fact that we had only gone to TJ Ford Church, again, this is not like a religious thing. We don't necessarily go to church anymore, but we still believe very much in the divine or God, whatever you want to call it. So um that just made it even more, appear like a miracle, because we're like, how did this just happen? And people that were like walking toward us, and behind. Like people had noticed from far away kind of what had happened. And everyone's just like, how did that happen? Like, are you guys okay? And we were just like, yeah, like everything's fine. We're just kind of covered in the hot sauce. But the lady, the vendor was like in shock
I
because
think I think I would be too. I think
so
probably also you were, as like your
oh yeah,
adrenaline came
because
down.
we weren't necessarily next to like the border yet. We still had a walk to go. So like my mom grabbed her purse and we were both kind of just like walking
Like
what just
startled.
happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how did that happen? And grateful, being like, oh my God, like nothing happened to us because the guy did have a knife, but he had pulled on the strap to
Thank
cut
you,
it.
Jesus.
So but I remember this like man, because my mom couldn't see it because I'm facing her
Mhm.
pulling, like, pulling like this
Like with
grown
all of
man.
his might,
And my mom is like 5'4", and I'm sure I was already taller than her because I was tall at a young age. But this guy was bigger than us, like a grown man
like
pulling on this. And my mom just like this. And my mom is also not even like being moved. Like
yeah,
my mom is not, it's not
she's
like it was like
anchored by God.
strapped. It's not like it was strapped to her another way and he's pulling it. It's like throwing her off balance. He
Yeah.
is only tugging on the bag and not on my mom. And my mom is just standing there. And I just remember it so vividly.
Yes.
And that's like, when you tell me it, like immediately that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm blessed to have all these other situations and in the past couple of years, even more that I consider miracles. But that would be one that at an early age, I can't explain to this day.
I
And I
mean,
think that's the
God
miracle.
works in miraculous ways, right? Universe, divine. So you cannot deny that subject. I mean, the fact that you're telling me that your mom, 5'4", little
Yeah.
mamita, not even getting pulled, like someone's yanking on her
Yeah,
bag.
but it wasn't attached to her necessarily anymore, you
That was
know?
God. Like, and you just left church. I'm sorry, but like those were the angels
Yeah,
surrounding you. You had
yeah,
guardian angels protecting you. You were being blessed. And like you said, you were in a crowd. There were people all around you.
yeah,
And yet you were not harmed. And like, I'm sure that maybe also the miracle happened in that specific situation because let's say they got the bag. Let's say your mom got pushed over. Well, then you had all of those other people that were going to be there to either help support, get the bag back, be an eyewitness, whatever. So
yeah,
that is like a scenario that like you just have to like say that like thank you
yeah,
universe, thank you
pretty
Jesus.
much. Yeah.
Wow, that's a beautiful miracle in itself.
So that's, I think, one of the first stories that I would think of. And I think because I was young, it impacts you even more.
Oh yeah.
Lauren, tell
So,
me, tell me what comes to
so
mind. Were you young when this happened?
when you keep saying, "Oh, I was young," that's like the first thing that is popping into my head right now is the fact that one of the biggest, and this is like when I was raised in a Catholic church. I was an altar girl. So I was always in the community of religion and faith. But there was this one instance that really solidified my faith in there being a higher power, whoever you want to call it. So I was now like this is like circa 1994, okay? Like this is like little Lauren is maybe 5 or 6, okay? And I will never forget this moment because also like all right, so let me just go into the details. You'll feel it with me. Okay. So I am little Lauren and we are living, it's mom and me. We're in her car. We're living in the Bronx, and I'm either driving, not me, but like I'm in the car with mom, and we're either driving from the Bronx to New Jersey to go visit my uncle and my aunt and my family, or we're going from New Jersey, had already visited them, and we're driving home. I can't remember the exact, that scenario, but what I do remember, and this is where it starts, is we're driving, and remember, circa 1994, there's no cell phones. I mean, if there is, they're the big ones that like my mom wasn't owning.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there was no GPS, like not even MapQuest. I don't even think was
No,
available
no,
yet. I don't know if you guys have in your car, but like I have a little button for like SOS, like,
yeah,
like, like if
yeah,
something happens, I hit a
Not
button
happening.
and someone comes.
Yeah.
We didn't have those buttons, okay? So circa 1994, mom and Lauren driving, cruising, listening to the music, vibing out. Car breaks down. Car is it breaks down. What do you do when you don't have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Well, when you're like, what do you do in this situation? Like, how, even if you had AAA, because I know AAA had been back around for a while.
Yeah.
How do you get in touch with AAA when you're broken
Yeah.
down in the middle of the road? Like, what does one do? So I will never forget this moment. It was not freezing, like snowing cold, but it was cold enough where
Okay.
we didn't have the heat on because the car was broken. Like I was
Yeah.
getting a little chilly. Um,
Hmm.
and I will never forget, like, you're a kid, so you definitely pick up on your parents' energy, and my mom was trying to keep it cool, but my mom was definitely a little bit like anxious, nervous, like, what the heck do I do? I don't know what to
Yeah.
do. Like, I can't get out and leave my daughter alone. I can't, the car's gonna get stolen maybe if I bring her with me. Like, what do I do right now? And I remember it wasn't like, a 1 minute, 30-minute thing. It was like we were sitting there for like, what felt like it felt like hours. Who
But
knows?
was there like, were you in this area where there was nothing around you?
It was like, so if you can picture like the Bronx or like Brooklyn or like, so it's like a strip of, we were able to somehow get off the highway. So we weren't on the highway on the shoulder, but we were like right by the entrance exit area. So we're on a street that has stores and it's,
Okay.
like in like Bronx, Brooklyn, like those are busy streets, like,
Yeah.
especially by
Yeah.
an entrance or exit. So it was a lot of traffic. I remember we were able to at least have pulled over. Like I
Okay.
wasn't like in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus. But I just remember that like we didn't know what we were doing next. Like we
Yeah.
didn't know what the next step was. And I remember like not knowing even what to do or to tell my mom or how to console her in this moment. So long story short, energy is high. We're a little anxious, trying to pray to God, trying to believe in faith, and like, God will have our backs. Sure. And I'm sure my mother, if I ask her right now, if we came and brought her on an interview, I am sure she was doing the rosary in her head. She was saying Hail Mary. She was saying Our
Yeah.
Father. she was doing the whole rosary, reciting the whole rosary. So sure enough, like we're talking, to me, it felt like 3 hours. Now I can't tell you, maybe it was an hour, but it felt like forever.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. And now remember, this is circa 1994. Like although we were always a melting pot, right? Like America's always been a melting pot. I feel like there was even though people were friendly to their neighbors, they didn't really just go up to random strangers, right? Like you don't go up
Mhm.
to strangers, stranger danger. So a random Arab man came up to my mother's window.
Okay.
You guys all right? Everything okay? Everything all right?
Where did he come from? A car?
Where did he come from? I don't know. He just appeared. Okay. He just
Okay.
appeared. He comes up to my mother's window. He says, "Are you okay?" She tells him that, we're broken down and I don't know I don't even know where to begin.
Mm.
So he offers, I don't know how this man had a phone. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. But
Okay.
I had asked my mom. I had asked my mom the story, so I wanted to know these details. And apparently, this man had offered her a phone or offered her a way to call for
Oh.
help. And long story short, he was our random miracle that just showed up. And within moments, I mean, at that time, once the phone call was made, I felt like things were speeding up a little bit.
Yeah.
But within moments, AAA or the tow truck was there, or like, whatever. But it was almost as if like it was God himself coming
Touching.
to
Yeah.
deliver like that one lifeline, you know?
Because your mom at the moment just
Like
didn't know what to do.
she was praying, but she was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, the highway is right here, like, and it
Yeah.
wasn't like again, imagine being a single mom with a 5-year-old. Like, do
Yeah.
you leave the car? Do you bring her with you to just go store to store and figure out like what we're gonna do? Like, what do we
Mhm.
do? And
And
I
maybe not the safest
no, it
neighborhood,
was
you
not like
know.
the safest environment, 100%. Not
Yeah,
that I was like in the hood, but like it
yeah,
was just not something that like a little 5-year-old should be getting out and
yeah,
walking around. So it
yeah.
was just I just remember the feelings of like, oh my God, the anxiety, the like, I don't know, the like, what are we gonna do? And then the saving grace. Like I remember just out of nowhere, someone came to rescue us. Like it was like the knight in shining armor, like on the white horse. You know what I mean? Or it was like Jesus coming, like in Arab form. And thank you.
And your mom, like you're saying, was probably praying, like,
Oh, she was.
please help us, like, help us figure this out. And then this person just showed up and said, like, let me help you figure it out.
It can't be. You cannot deny that that was the universe or
Yeah. Oh,
God.
100%, 100%, the light of God, either through this person, guiding them to care enough,
Yes.
because or to even think that you might need help, because a lot of the time you see someone on the side of the road, but you're like, okay, maybe they got it taken care of. Maybe,
Right. And like,
someone's coming for them.
what stranger normally just, hey, you guys
Mhm.
good? Like, why? Like, especially like, I feel like, granted,
And
I
the
don't think that
spot you were in, it wasn't like a place where people were just
I
walking
think
by.
maybe I mean, I just remember being pulled over on the side of the street and, like, there being cars just driving by, but like you said, like, no one stops. No one stops to be like even when you see someone pulled over on a highway, like, do you stop? Do you ask, like, "Yo, you good? Like, everything alright? You need help with the tire? Like, what happened?" No.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
how did someone just stop and then
yeah.
provide my mother a way to call to get us help, you know? So it was and, like, these were scary times when technology was not what technology is at
I
the time,
know.
you
I
know?
know. We are really fortunate
And so I
because,
think that
like,
that set the bar for
yeah,
me to be on this journey of spiritual, you know,
yeah.
desiring to get closer to my spirituality, whatever you wanna call it, because miracles do exist. Like, there
Mhm.
was a higher power. Someone was protecting my mother and I, because
Yeah.
that wasn't the time. It wasn't it. Our cards weren't up then, you know?
Yeah, uh-huh. No, I love that, and I love that both of our stories somehow had to do with us being alone with our moms, and
Yes.
little, and, somehow feeling like we were being protected and looked after. And I do believe that that is the case. I do believe that, maybe we weren't aware then, but that has been the case for a lot of our lives, that if you
Absolutely.
look back and you're like, oh my gosh, maybe that could have gone way worse. Maybe that situation, like many situations we've been in, where you look back and you think, well, I'm glad it didn't, this and this and this didn't happen, because somehow, it just didn't, or some way someone intervened, or, we had a thought in our mind that helped us get
Yeah.
out of that. So I think those can be miracles too, where you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, that could have been me. I could have been in that situation. That could have happened to me, but somehow we've been protected. We've been shielded.
I think
And
that was our first sign of being shown that we had divine protection in our life,
yeah,
and we didn't know it then, but now
no,
looking
no, 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 but it was something that impacted us enough to think, okay, maybe there's more than just what we at
mhm,
the moment think is possible, you know?
absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely, yes, I agree, and I'm just so grateful to in that moment, I wasn't grateful for the experience, but I'm very grateful for that
yeah,
experience
exactly,
now because
exactly.
it has secured that belief in miracles,
Mhm,
and if that miracle
mhm.
could happen, there's so many more miracles that are going
Oh,
to
I mean, I've seen amazing stories. I'm sure someone watching has an amazing story. If they do, I hope they share it with us. Anything, maybe if somebody's questioned if your story is even a miracle before, don't worry. We believe you. Whatever you think it's a miracle, like that is a miracle, because that is something that was shown to you for a reason, for
for
you
a
to
reason.
believe that way, and only to amplify everything else that you believe after. So please share it with us. We wanted to come share our little miracles, and hopefully we'll keep sharing more as, we share other stories of other things that have happened in our lives that can be considered miracles.
Yeah.
Um,
This
Lauren,
podcast, it's a miracle in itself, no?
it really is. To get two people on opposite side of the country to get us together with our life, with how we feel for the day, with things that
Yes.
happen. I mean, to have the energy, to have the organization. Lauren is or helps us stay organized. Lauren's
Well,
very,
this is my tech guru
very
right
good.
here. I'll tell you one thing. And we got
So
Good Morning America basically with the
yeah.
with the bands over here. This is my girl.
We literally a miracle has to happen every time, for us to come
We
together.
get together. Yep.
But like we said, it just will be when it needs to be, and the universe guides us and makes it possible, just like all miracles. So thank you for watching. Share your miracle with us. We're gonna hopefully share more, and more will continue to happen as we allow them to happen in our lives.
Yeah.
So thank you for watching, guys.
We are sending you so much love and light and laughs. I'm Lauren.
I'm
Oh,
Lili,
is this gonna? Oh, maybe it works.
and we send you so much love.